You ever feel like you're living someone else's dream life? That was me. Married to Mark, successful, charming, the guy who made everyone at parties laugh a little louder. We had the house, the SUV, and 2 golden retrievers. People thought we were perfect. Honestly, so did I. Mark traveled a lot for work, consulting for tech firms up and down the East Coast. I never questioned it. He always came back with some hotel shampoo bottle or local snack to prove he'd been gone. I trusted him like I trusted the air I breathed, completely and blindly. I used to brag about our marriage, how even after 10 years, he still kissed my forehead every morning. But now, looking back, I realized that comfort blinded me. That affection, those routines, they weren't proof of love. They were camouflage. One evening, I was scrolling through Facebook while he packed for yet another business trip to Charlotte. That's when I saw it. A woman had posted a picture from the Charlotte airport, tagged herself, and added a little caption, "Weekend getaway with my love, again." It meant nothing at first, just a random post in my feed, until I saw the reflection in her sunglasses. Mark, my Mark, smiling, carrying his suitcase. I stared at that photo like it would disappear if I blinked hard enough. My heart didn't break in that moment. It stopped. The trust I built my life on cracked, and everything inside me collapsed. But I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Not yet. I saved the photo, closed the app, and took a deep breath. Something inside me shifted. This wasn't going to end in silence or in tears. I wasn't going to be another sad story about a woman left behind. No, I was going to write my own ending. And it wasn't going to be pretty for him. What would you do if you discovered your husband's work trip was really a romantic getaway with another woman? I want the listener to feel the shock, the betrayal, the stomach-dropping realization of being lied to by the person they loved most. This step sets the foundation for what's to come, an empowering story of betrayal and reclaiming your voice. So many people have been through the exact moment of realizing someone isn't who they said they were. This taps into that raw moment of clarity. If you've ever felt your gut telling you something was wrong, listen, and don't worry. The best part of this story is still ahead. I didn't sleep that night. Mark left early in the morning, like he always did. Same kiss on the forehead. Same, "Love you, babe." And I stood there in the doorway, watching him pull away, my heart cold but steady. I was done being the trusting wife. I was going to be the quiet storm he never saw coming. First thing I did was pull up our phone bill. All those late-night calls, they weren't to his boss or any hotel. They were to one number, repeated over and over. I searched it, cross-checked it with social media, and there she was. Her name was Cassie. Young, smiley, one of those girls who ends every post with sparkly emojis and hashtags about self-love. Turns out Cassie wasn't just a fling. She had pictures going back months. Some even looked like they were taken in our cabin. One had our dog's toy in the background. That one nearly broke me. But instead of losing it, I went methodical. I started building a timeline. His trips, her posts, every lie lined up perfectly with her updates. I even messaged her from a burner account, told her I was interested in Mark's services for a tech project. She responded instantly, told me they'd been together for almost a year. She called him her soulmate. I was nauseous. My body felt like it was floating, detached from my brain, but I wasn't going to let either of them know I knew. Not yet. That week, I played the role. I texted him, "I miss you," while he was with her. I made his favorite meal for when he got home. Every smile I gave him was laced with venom. He had no clue I was piecing together the truth behind his fake life. Then I started protecting myself, quietly. Copied all our financials, spoke to a lawyer casually, closed a joint credit card without telling him, moved some cash to a private account. I even installed a discreet camera in our home office just in case. And every night, I went to bed next to him, thinking about the day I would burn his whole world down. Imagine looking your husband in the eyes while he lies to you, and you're holding the proof of his betrayal in your hands. This step captures the gut-wrenching shift from grief to cold, calculated clarity, from pain to power. It highlights the strength in staying calm and getting smart, not impulsive. When you've been betrayed, knowing your next move is everything. Anyone who's been cheated on knows that moment when you start digging, and the truth comes crashing in. Ever caught someone in a lie but kept quiet just to see how far they'd go? Stick around. You won't believe how far he went, and how I flipped the script. If there's one thing I learned during all of this, it's that people who cheat assume they're smarter than the ones they're betraying. Mark thought I was too soft, too trusting to ever catch on. That made him sloppy, and I was done playing the fool. I waited for the perfect moment. His next work trip was already on the calendar, a 4-day tech conference in Chicago. At least, that's what he told me. But I already knew Cassie had posted about a cozy cabin rental in the mountains. Same weekend. Her caption, "Get away with my love." We needed this. I wanted to confront them. I really did. But revenge, smart revenge, needed timing, patience, and just the right nudge. So I played along. The night before he left, I packed his bag for him, slipped a little note in there saying, "Proud of you, always." That part almost made me sick, but it had to be real. He kissed me goodbye with that same fake warmth I used to believe in, and off he went, to cheat, yet again. But this time, I followed. Well, not exactly me. A private investigator I hired did. Discreet, professional, and worth every penny. Within 24 hours, I had photos of them together, hugging, kissing, sharing drinks on a cabin porch. He wasn't at a conference. He wasn't with his team. He was playing house with the woman he lied about for over a year. I even got a video clip. They were laughing in the cabin kitchen, dancing to some slow song. My PI caught them through the window. It looked like a romantic movie, except I was supposed to be the wife in that scene. But I wasn't crying this time. I was collecting evidence. Because my trap wasn't just emotional, it was legal too. I sent all the files to my lawyer, and together, we built a timeline that would completely flip the divorce in my favor. Asset protection, custody leverage, documented infidelity. I wasn't just preparing for a confrontation. I was preparing for a win. And the final move? I left a little surprise for when he returned. On our kitchen table, I printed out one of Cassie's photos, the one where she's in my sweatshirt. I wrote on it, "Hope the cabin was worth it," and then I left the house. Just for a few hours. Just enough time for him to come home and realize the mask had dropped. Ever wanted to catch someone so badly you could taste it? That was me, with the truth finally in hand. There's something powerful about turning heartbreak into a plan, something healing about choosing strength over tears. This step shows how important it is to think clearly, protect your future, and not rush into confrontation without backup. Anyone who's been betrayed knows the satisfaction of taking back control. What do you do when you've caught them red-handed, and they still don't know it yet? Stay with me. The real confrontation is just ahead. He walked into the house like nothing had happened. I watched from the upstairs hallway, hidden behind the banister. He looked around, saw the note and the photo on the kitchen table, and I swear, his whole body froze. His backpack slipped off his shoulder and hit the floor with a thud. He stared at that photo for a long time. Then he called my name. Twice. I didn't answer. I waited until he picked up the picture and read my message again. Hope the cabin was worth it. His face dropped, and that's when I came down the stairs, holding the manila envelope full of evidence in my hand. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just looked at him and asked, "How long have you been lying to me?" He opened his mouth like he had something ready to say, but no words came out. He just stood there, guilt written all over his face. "I know everything, Mark. The cabin, the trips, Cassie, the fake work events. I even know what she calls you in her Instagram captions. My king. That one really hurt. He tried to apologize, said it just happened, that it didn't mean anything, the usual excuses. I let him talk. I wanted to hear it, because the more he spoke, the more ridiculous he sounded. The man who swore he loved me was now standing there trying to justify a year-long affair with someone I trusted. I handed him the envelope. Everything's in there, pictures, dates, proof. My lawyer has a copy too. I've already filed for divorce. He went pale. You... what? You're divorcing me? That's when I finally let the emotion come through. Yes, because I gave you everything, Mark. My love, my trust, my body, even when I was exhausted from pregnancy. I stayed up all night with our baby while you were out playing pretend husband with her. And now, I'm taking my life back. He tried to talk me down, begged me to think about the family. But I had already thought about it. I was thinking about the family, me and my baby. And we deserved better than a man who lied with a straight face for over a year. He asked where I was going. Not far, I told him, just away from you. I walked out that door with my head high and my heart breaking, but also healing. Because standing up for yourself after being betrayed isn't weakness, it's power. You ever confront someone and realize they're not even sorry they did it, just sorry they got caught? This moment hurt, but it also gave me the strength I didn't know I had. If someone breaks your trust, you have every right to walk away, with proof, protection, and pride. So many people stay because they're scared. I stayed too long. But once I left, I never looked back. Want to know what happened after I walked away, and how karma finally caught up with him? Stay with me. The final chapter is next. Walking away from that house felt like walking through fire. I wasn't just leaving a cheating husband. I was leaving behind a version of myself that had settled for less, that had accepted silence over truth. The first few weeks were rough. I stayed with my sister while I found a place. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw their faces. I thought about the lies, the late-night phone calls he took in the garage, the last-minute meetings. I'd gone over every red flag so many times, I could recite them like a list. But with each passing day, I got stronger. I focused on my baby, on rebuilding, on therapy, and I started sharing my story anonymously online. Not out of spite, but because I realized so many people were silently hurting like I had been. The messages I got, they blew me away. Strangers telling me they finally left their toxic marriages. Women realizing they weren't crazy for feeling suspicious. That's when I knew this pain had a purpose. And then, karma started working her magic. Turns out, Cassie wasn't exactly thrilled to be the main woman instead of the side piece. She liked the fantasy more than the reality. Living with Mark meant dealing with bills, colicky cries on weekends, and a man who clearly wasn't over his ex-wife. 3 months after our divorce finalized, Cassie posted some cryptic quotes about betrayal and finding yourself after being fooled. Then her Instagram disappeared. Mark tried to contact me a few times. First, it was to talk. Then it was to apologize. Then it was to ask for help. He said he was struggling, that life had fallen apart after I left. I didn't reply. Not out of anger, out of peace. Because by then, I didn't need closure. I was the closure. I'd built a new life, a stable home, a support system of friends and family who showed up for me. I even started dating again, slowly, carefully, not because I needed someone, but because I wanted to feel joy again. And guess what? Joy found me. And the best part? My son will grow up watching a mom who stood up for herself, who didn't let betrayal break her, who proved that walking away is sometimes the bravest, strongest thing you can do. Ever wonder what happens after the storm clears? Sometimes peace looks a lot like power. I had to lose everything to find myself again. And I wouldn't trade that strength for anything. Betrayal hurts. But healing is possible. You're not weak for trusting. You're strong for walking away when that trust is broken. So many people stay out of fear. But life after betrayal isn't the end, it's the beginning. If this story hit home for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever walked away from someone who betrayed you? Let's talk about it. Check the link in bio for more real stories that inspire, heal, and empower.